Hi, I'm Kateland, and I love wine. I am not an expert or a sommelier. I'm just a normal girl who loves wine. I meet a lot of people who are scared of wine, or they don't know where to start, so they just don't. I was the exact same way, believe me. Growing up in Alabama, I did not have much exposure to wine past maybe white Zinfandel, and it's debatable as to whether or not that's even considered a wine. Wine doesn't have to be snobby or confusing or even expensive. It's fun, it tastes great, and there's something for everybody. As long as you're old enough to drink, do not get me in trouble. So I decided to make this show to hopefully make wine a little less confusing for you a little more quickly than it happened for me. Wine is fun, so let's have fun with it. Let's get started. For our first episode, we're gonna focus on one grape, which is gonna be Cabernet Sauvignon. Now, you've probably tried a Cab before because it's one of the most popular varietals in the world, and just so happens to be one of my personal favorites. Oh, did you know that the name of the wine is actually the name of the grape used to make the wine? There are lots of different kinds of grapes. It's kind of like apples. You know how there are Fuji apples and Macintosh and Pink Lady? All apples, just different. It's the same thing with grapes. Let's get to tasting wine. After all, that's what we're here for, right? Let's dive in. So first, we have a Errázuriz Cabernet Sauvignon from Chile. It's a 2008. And actually, this winery was started in 1870 by Don Errázuriz himself, which is just kind of interesting. Okay, so what's the whole deal with this swirling and sniffing thing? I thought this show was supposed to be down to earth. Well, it is, so hush up. Swirling and sniffing actually creates, Swirling and sniffing is actually a really important part of experiencing the wine. Swirling puts oxygen into the wine that releases and intensifies the smells. And the smelling part is so important because actually 80% of our sense of taste is in our nose. So smelling the wine really gives you a great idea about what you're about to taste. Plus, it's super fun. Just don't spill it on yourself. I've definitely done that before. It actually smells like very cedar, very woodsy. It smells almost like if your grandma or someone had a cedar chest. It's very like cedar chest-like, which sounds weird, but that's true. There's also a little fruit in the back of your nose. Cherry, dark, any black currant, dark fruit on the nose here. So I'm excited to try it. That's awesome and intense. So right off, it's very tannic. One more second and I'll explain what that means. Fruity in the back of your throat with some, again, those dark fruits, but it's also really spicy, like nutmeg, baking spices, something like that. But it's great. This wine would really benefit from opening up in the glass for a little while. Don't be afraid to really let it linger in your mouth. Get it in there, suck some air into your mouth if you feel comfortable doing that. Really let it hit all of those taste buds in there because it's gonna taste different on every different area of your mouth. It's nice. So, what are tannins? They're actually a bitter plant compound that are a great antioxidant and a natural preservative. But what it means to you, the drinker, is cottonmouth. You know. So you can minimize the taste of tannins by letting the wine air out in your glass for a little bit longer, or even aerating or decanting it. New wine drinkers tend to not love really tannic wines. I certainly didn't, but it is something that you come to really enjoy. It makes for a much more complex wine and a wine that can age for a lot longer. Cabernets are best paired with beef, lamb, or any red meat dishes, or full flavored cheeses, or even meat straight off the grill, because that nice charred flavor is gonna go really great with especially a young, very tannic Cabernet. Or if you're like me, it's great just to drink whenever, because I'm a big fan of drinking wine with whatever, if anything, you're eating. Speaking of drinking, let's move on to our wine under 9. Like I said before, wine does not have to be expensive. Each episode, we're gonna feature a wine that you can find for $9 or under. We're gonna have some great wines and probably some not so great wines, but that's okay. It's all about tasting wine, good or bad. You're gonna have to try some wines you don't like to find the ones you do. It's kind of like men, you know what I mean? Today we have a 2009 Ravenswood Vintner's Blend Cabernet Sauvignon from California. Now this is not actually 100% Cabernet, which is pretty common. Though in the United States, the wine must be at least 75% of the grape named on the label. I got this wine at Trader Joe's for $7.99. It's a steal. I didn't actually steal it though. P.S. Little note about inexpensive wines in restaurants. Generally, they're gonna cost for the glass in a restaurant what you've paid in the store for a bottle. So you're gonna find this cab on a menu for about $8 a glass. I know, it sucks, it's just the way it is. Maybe a romantic dinner in, perhaps. Swirly, swirly. Okay, so right off the top, this is a much milder wine than the one we tried before. Much less cedar, still a little bit, but maybe more of an oak in the nose, but more, definitely more fruit, but maybe even a lighter fruit a little bit. It's yummy, it's mild, it's nice. Probably an everyday drinkable wine from the smell of it, nothing too crazy or over the top. Blackberry, blueberry even, some lighter fruits. Still dark, but lighter. All right, let's do it. Super smooth in the front of your mouth, very fruity in the front. When you swallow it, there's a little bit of tannin, but not much, which is good. You want that in a wine. It just makes it have a little bit of body, but you can definitely see drinking this anywhere. Sitting it, taking it to a friend's house for a party. Nice wine that everyone's gonna enjoy. And you've spent $7.99 on it, which is great. Awesome drinkable wine. Well, that does it for our first episode. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe even learned a little something. Definitely let me know what you thought and what you'd like to see on future episodes. And tell your friends, we're gonna be doing more of these. And if you happen to make a wine that you'd like us to feature, send me a message. But most importantly, guys, get out there and start drinking wine. Ci vediamo un'altra volta. Until next time, drink up.